From Minions existing in the Lorax universe to the entire franchise being one giant Marvel crossover, today we're breaking down 10 jaw-dropping Despicable Me Easter eggs that completely reframe how all these movies connect. But first, if you love Gru, drop a Minion emoji. And if you love finding hidden details, hit that subscribe button. Number 1. The movie rankings prove the franchise peaked at the beginning. Not all Despicable Me films are created equal, and the official ranking tells you everything. Minions is a misguided spin-off with plenty of jokes, but lacking a central character to lead the plot. Despicable Me 4 feels played out. Instead of a central plot, it's just loads of subplots designed to deliver gags. Despicable Me 2 is an okay follow-up that loses a lot of the charm by putting Gru on the good side and focusing on a love story instead of villainy. Despicable Me 3 gets a huge boost from an 80s-inspired villain and Gru's twin brother tempting him back to crime. It feels fresh. Rise of Gru is a sequel to the spin-off that gets a massive upgrade by returning to what the franchise is actually about. Underdog villain origin story with plenty of Minion antics. But the original Despicable Me, that's the gold standard. A great concept about a supervillain who discovers love through parenting, introducing the world to iconic characters, establishing the Minions as the franchise's secret weapon. So the franchise has been declining since the original, and every sequel is trying to recapture lightning in a bottle. Number 2, Margot's shirts aren't random. They're foreshadowing Illumination's next film. Every time Margot wears a shirt, she's giving you a sneak peek at the future. In Despicable Me 3, when Margot sits in the airplane, look closely at her shirt. It shows the Grinch. This wasn't a random clothing choice. Illumination Studios was about to release their next film in 2018, and they hid the announcement on Margot's chest. It mirrors previous films where Margot's shirts foreshadowed upcoming Illumination projects, like the Lorax appearing on her shirt in earlier movies. But that's not all. In the girl's bedroom, you can see miniature versions of Gru's vehicle among their toys, suggesting they've been playing with his gadgets and absorbing his influence. And when you see the foosball table in the tavern, look at the player figures. They've all been replaced with pigs, a direct callback to Fredonia's main theme of being a famous pig farm. Every single detail connects back to the story and Illumination's larger cinematic universe. So Margot's fashion sense is basically a marketing billboard for what's coming next. Number 3, the Nelson family hides dark clues about their true nature. That baby's pacifier is sending a message, and it's not innocent. When the Minions first meet the Nelson family in the Minions movie, there's a tiny detail hidden in plain sight. The baby's pacifier is shaped like a skull, not a normal pacifier. A skull. That's not cute. That's not coincidental. That's a deliberate visual clue that this family isn't exactly normal. This family is dangerous. The skull pacifier is Illumination, saying these people are bad news without you even realizing it yet. It's the filmmakers planting evidence that the Nelson family harbors something dark beneath their cheerful facade. By the time the Minions story unfolds, that skull becomes a harbinger of chaos. It's foreshadowing. It's a visual warning that nobody paid attention to. That level of subtle storytelling is craft. The filmmakers didn't need to spell it out. They just put a skull on a baby's pacifier and trusted the audience to understand. This family is trouble. So the Nelson family's true nature was hinted at from their very first scene through one small detail. Number 4, the sword in the stone. Appearance creates a huge Minions timeline mystery. This reference raises questions nobody's answered yet. During the London chase in the Minions movie, Bob pulls out the legendary sword in the stone to fight off the police. Most fans think it's just a reference to the famous Disney movie, but it creates a massive continuity problem. If Bob can pull the sword in the stone out of London, that means the sword exists in the Despicable Me universe. That means King Arthur lore is real in this world. But here's the problem. The Minions are supposed to serve villains. They're drawn to evil. So if the sword in the stone is real and accessible, why haven't any of the villains Gru fought tried to claim it? Why hasn't it been relevant to any of the plots? The sword appears once as a gag and then disappears from the timeline completely. It's like Illumination planted evidence of a larger magical world and then pretended it didn't matter. Either the sword in the stone has been sitting in London the whole time and nobody knows, or Illumination created a continuity hole they never addressed. And honestly, that's scarier, because it means there are artifacts and magic in the Despicable Me world that the characters just ignore. So the sword in the stone might be the biggest unanswered mystery in Minions lore. Number 5, Kevin's first meeting with Gru creates a paradox that changes everything. At the end of the Minions movie, Kevin becomes the first Minion Gru ever sees, but that contradicts established canon. According to earlier Despicable Me lore, Gru was responsible for creating the Minions. He made them. He designed them. He brought them into existence. But if Kevin is the first Minion Gru sees, that means Gru didn't create them. That means Minions existed before Gru. That means Gru discovered them rather than invented them. So which version of the story is actually true? Did Gru create the Minions, or did he find them? The filmmakers never resolved this contradiction. contradiction. The Minions movie establishes one timeline. The Despicable Me films establish a different one, and they never intersect cleanly. It's like Illumination created two separate canons and decided to just ignore the inconsistency. This isn't a small continuity error. This is a fundamental contradiction about the origin of an entire species. Either Gru's origin story is wrong, or the Minions' origin story is wrong, and the films never clarify which. So the Minions might not even be real in the way we think they are. They might be a completely separate species with a fabricated backstory. Number 6, Despicable Me 3 has multiple animation mistakes that change character details. These aren't just rendering errors. They're continuity-breaking inconsistencies. Brat is portrayed as right-handed, and his guitar is designed for right-handed players. But when Gru steals it at the end, Gru, who is left-handed, somehow plays the guitar perfectly with his left hand on a right-handed instrument. That shouldn't be possible without restringing, yet nobody mentions it. The one-eyed bartender is visibly missing his right eye, but when he turns to his left, revealing the right side of his face, suddenly his right eye is open. The missing eye reappears. Then when he turns back to face the girls, his right eye is missing again. It's like his eye exists in a quantum state, both present and absent depending on camera angle. And during the collapse of the giant Brat robot, the Hollywood sign is shown leaning against the O. As Gru climbs the robot, the L miraculously becomes upright. The letters rearrange themselves without explanation. It's like the sign is alive, responding to Gru's presence. So Despicable Me 3 might be full of animation errors, or those errors are hints at something stranger happening in reality. Number 7, Balthazar Brat's robot has a video game HUD, suggesting he's playing a game. The robot display is exactly like a controller interface, and that's not accidental. When Brat operates his giant robot, the display he's looking through is set up just like a video game heads-up display. There's a weapon select, an ammo counter on the bottom right, and he's using two joysticks like most analog game controllers. He's not piloting a real robot, he's gaming. This could mean Brat sees his entire life as a game to be won. His battles aren't real conflicts, they're game scenarios. His enemies are NPCs. The world is a playground where he's the player. That would explain his obsession with 80s culture. He's literally living inside an 80s video game mentality in a modern world. When Brat fires his gum rockets, one explodes in front of the TCL Chinese Theater, a real Hollywood location. But in a video game, you destroy landmarks and monuments for points. So maybe Brat is treating the real world like a game board, where famous locations are just level features to be destroyed for entertainment. So Balthazar Brat might not be a villain, he might be someone who literally cannot distinguish between reality and video games. Number 8, the entire Minions and Monsters timeline is still unsolved. Nobody knows when this movie actually takes place, and the clues contradict each other. Everyone claims Minions and Monsters is set in the 1920s, but Illumination never officially confirmed that. The trailer description says the Minions conquer Hollywood. Nothing about when. If it's early Hollywood, why are the Minions wearing overalls? They didn't get overalls until Kevin, Stuart, and Bob came to America. You're telling me a different group of Minions independently decided to wear overalls? That seems impossible. But here's where it gets wild. Kevin, Stuart, and Bob are missing from this movie. Those are the main Minions from the first two films. They should be there if this is a prequel, but they're gone. And the Minions' overalls don't have Gru's logo. If this is after the first Minions movie, they'd have Gru's logo. If this is before, they wouldn't have overalls. The most logical timeline? After Despicable Me 4. Gru's anti-villain license has expired, he's retired, he has a family, the Minions are out of a job, so they go to Hollywood looking for regular work as actors. It would make sense, but it would also mean Gru has retired from villainy forever, which fundamentally changes the franchise's future. So Minions and Monsters might not be a prequel at all. It might be the franchise's final chapter. Number 9. The entire Despicable Me franchise exists in the Lorax universe. They're not just in the same world, they have actual crossover evidence. In the Lorax movie, Ted has a pair of shoes that says Gru's shoes with a Minion logo. This means while Gru was trying to find legitimate work as a non-villain, he briefly went into the shoe business. He was actually present in the Lorax universe. And later, if you look closely in Ted's drawer, there's an actual Minion toy, physical evidence that the Despicable Me characters exist in that world. But it doesn't stop there. In Despicable Me 2, Margot wears a shirt with the Lorax on it, the actual character from that movie. This isn't just a random shirt, this is confirmation that the movies exist in the same universe. The Lorax happened. The events of that film are part of the shared timeline. Characters from different franchises are wearing merchandise from each other's worlds. This means Dr. Seuss's entire universe and Illumination's villain universe are connected. It means Gru lives in a world where the Lorax exists. It means the Minions have encountered Seussian creatures. The world-building implications are massive. Illumination created a shared cinematic universe long before Marvel made it popular, and almost nobody noticed. So the Despicable Me franchise franchise doesn't exist in isolation. It's part of a larger Seussian multiverse. Number 10. Despicable Me 4 reveals that Margot was secretly replaced. Wait, this reframes the entire movie as something much darker. Throughout Despicable Me 2, and Despicable Me 3, Margot is always present. She's one of the 3 adopted girls. She's the ringleader. But in Despicable Me 4, Margot isn't there anymore. It's just Gru, Agnes, and Edith. Margot has disappeared. The film never explains what happened to her. There's no scene where she's absent. She's just gone. And nobody in the movie even seems to notice. Gru doesn't comment on her absence. The other girls don't mention her. It's like she never existed, but she did. We watched her grow up through 3 movies. Then there's the detail about Maxim Lamal creating his car in the form of a bug, and Gru responding by creating a rocket in the form of a car. This is Gru copying the villain's aesthetic, which suggests Lamal influenced Gru's design choices. And when Silas offers Gru a safe house with almost everything referenced, Gru hands over the minions to him and joins the anti-villain league. So Gru didn't just give up villainy, he gave up his minions and his family, and we never see what happened to Margot. Did she run away? Was she taken? Or was she replaced? And that's it. Which one blew your mind the most? A universe connection or a missing character? Let me know in the comments. If you want more Despicable Me Easter egg breakdowns that'll completely reframe how you see the entire franchise, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed, because we're uncovering even more hidden connections that